It's like, man, I remember when you could hardly walk over the line on the field without tripping.
I heard that Andy Vest doesn't let his kids come to the dinner table if they don't play the line. All right, so Caleb Mary's going to kick off the second half. And he's going to put that again to the 2-yard line. Line drive kick. They're going to run that out to the 35. He's going to get 34, I think, is where they stop him. But good starting field position for Norwood starting this second half.
It looked a little bizarre, like CHCA was just kind of baby stepping with their return team. They weren't really being attacking and going deep, and I don't know if that's a strategic decision to try to, sometimes you try to build a web and then you close on the web to make sure that you close out all the lanes. Sometimes if you have a couple guys go gangbusters and they overrun the return guy, it opens up huge lanes. So it just looked a little bizarre on film if you saw that.
All right, empty backfield. Shotgun formation. Trips right, 2 receivers left. Peters looking over the defense. He throws that quick slant into traffic. But still, ball pops out, but I think they're going to say he was down.
Yeah, it looked like it was a catch, and it looked like it was ripped out as he was going. Either he had stopped his forward momentum or he hit the ground. Either way, it looked like a good call, and it was a pretty immediate by the referees to stop that and make sure that they credit the slant play for 3 yards.
All right, they're going to go same formation. Trips left, 2 receivers right. Eagles bring pressure, and they're going to sack him back at the 32-yard line, I think is where they're going to mark him down.
I think that's the first time they've got to him tonight as far as a sack. I know that they pressured him into that interception when he threw it over here, and McKeachin went up and got it at the high point in an ill-advised throw. But I think that's the first time that they've squeezed down from the defensive line with those 4 men rushing and getting to the quarterback. So great job by those 4 up there. That looks like that's Bryce Laudick, Jeff May that is 55. So that's going to be Rabun.
And now they're going to throw a little,
So that was a little tunnel screen. What they're doing right there is they're allowing the defensive line, because the defense is pinning their ears back. They are letting that defensive line come through, and they're doing a little tunnel screen with their wide receiver. The ball was slightly thrown behind the wideout, and it's a good thing it was for CHCA too, because he had a lane to run through. So a nice lucky break for CHCA, and Norwood down big is going to have to punt. And Dean, I believe this is our first punt of the football game.
First punt of the game. It's 4th and 12. I think that's Crosley back there at the. Yeah, it is. It's Crosley at the 40. And there's a timeout called.
Yeah, timeout for Norwood. It looks like they didn't have either their alignment. How many kids they got out there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They only had 10 kids out there on their punt team. Might have been missing English. Maybe English just stepped over there, number 2 over there for Norwood. But they didn't like what they saw somewhere. So on 4th and 12, boy, you're Norwood. You're down 42-13. You have not stopped CHCA at all. You had to think. You were sitting there with a minute left in the first half, Dean, and you had the ball inside the 15-yard line about to score, and you're getting the ball to start the second half. You had to think, if you're Norwood, let's plug it in here, make it 42-20. Then we're going to get the ball back, go down and score 42-27. Now it's a 15-point game, and lots of weird things can happen. Turn the ball over on downs on a very spotty call, on a tough spot for Norwood, and now they go 3 and out to start the second half. That is not the way you draw that up if you are if you're a fan of Norwood's football program.
All right, and now Eagles have nobody back deep, but they are going to punt it, and now Crosley gets back, but he's going to let that roll.
Peter,
I think.
Oh, get away from that ball.
All right, they're going to down it at the 30. That had a chance to get ugly right there, but he's going to get out of the way. They down it at the 30 with 10:15 left in the third quarter. Eagles up 29, leading 42-13. Going to start their first offensive drive of the half.
I tell you what, not much has gone wrong for Crosley McKeach tonight. So maybe if he picks that up, bobbles it a little bit, gets it under control, and runs it 70 yards. You never know. It's been a magical night for 25 tonight.
All right, Eagles come to the line. They're going to hand the ball off to Manny Tate. He's got to hold up the middle, but he gets dragged down. He's going to get out to about just across the 35, so I'll pick up a 5.
What a great run. So it looks like Manny is falling forward, but what that means is, again, that offensive line is pushing the line of scrimmage and changing the direction of where the starting point is. So even when Manny, who gets up a little hobbled and hobbles over to the sideline, hopefully that ankle is okay. But so Manny, even though he's pressing forward and it looks like he's diving forward for a yard or two, that's a 6-yard gain right there because the offensive line is doing some work.
All right, back to the line, 2 receivers to each side. They bring Brady Hunt back into the backfield. He'll be flanking to the left of Colin. Colin keeps this one to the 40, to the 45, to the 50, and he runs through somebody right in front of the Eagle bench, and they love that.
Nice run by Colin Ames right there. So that was a wonderful counter. They've been doing dive to the opposites, wherever the fullback lines up, the fullback's crossing in front of the quarterback and running dive to that side. They show the same action back there, and they're showing that fullback dive. They showed it the fullback dive to the right, but they're pulling a guard to the left, and as they show that dive, Colin Ames followed that guard on the left-hand side, and there was a wide open hole. It is the oldest play in football, the old counter. It was effective, and it is beautiful when it works.
All right, back to the line. Trips right. Single receiver left. Defender almost jumped. Big 74 almost came across again. Brady Hunt to the left of Crosby. No, I'm sorry, to Colin. Colin up over his head. Fumbles the football, but fights out of the tackle to get on the football. Colin just saved a disaster right there.
Yeah, he sure did. Colin Ames, you want your quarterback to pick it up and to not just fall on it. And he didn't, and he got lucky because he bobbled it again for a second time and got out of the tackle. So, not ideal, but it's just like a holding penalty.
It's better than a holding penalty.
It's better than a holding penalty.
2nd and 20. All right, so let's see what they pull out of the playbook for this. 2nd and 20. They're just going to want to get some of this back. Trips right, single receiver to the left. Josworth by himself down here. Actually, it's Sawkill. They're going to throw across the middle.
Oh,
that was Josworth. He was open.
He short-armed that one. He short-armed that one. It was a play action, and again, he threw all with his arm. He's got to get that back leg planted. He didn't get that back leg planted and push off with that arm, or push off to power the throw. He threw with his arm and short-armed it a little bit.
All right, so now 3rd and 20.
Yeah, now it's a little bit more difficult.
See if they go deep to Sawkill here. Drops back. He's looking Sawkill's way. He's looking. He does. He throws deep to Sawkill, who goes up and makes the play. What a play. A circus catch for Ian Sawkill as Colin Ames stands in there, takes the hit, and Ian makes a juggling catch.
That was an awesome catch. So I thought that was going to be picked off because the very second that Colin Ames was releasing that football, he was getting hit. And so he threw that off balance as he was getting hit. It was a wobbler, and Sawkill just goes up and made a play. Great job, Sawkill. That's what you want one of your senior receivers to do, is to make a big play and move the chains on 3rd and 20, and now the Eagles are inside the red zone.
Big play, Eagles. All right. 2 receivers each side. They're going to give this ball. No, Colin's going to keep it, and he's going to get thrown down for a loss of about 2 on the play.
Jamison, number 74 on the tackle.
Yeah, they ran that same counter look this time, and Norwood Their end almost overran it, but got a paw on Ames to slow him down to let the defensive tackle come through and make a stop. So nice play by Norwood's defense there, but boy, that looked like that was about to break. Brady Hunt in the backfield.
All right, Colin drops back. He's looking. He throws to the end zone wide open. And
I tell you, that's
Josworth was
Josworth.
wide open.
They ran, that's like a little flag route, but instead of putting air on it, that is Colin Ames putting a little stank on that throw and throwing it on a line right into the I mean, that honestly, that's an 18-yard touchdown, but he threw that about 32 yards on a rope into his chest. That was beautiful. What a play. And now, Dean, we have ourselves a running clock.
Yes, we do. So Colin Murphy, they're going to blow flag for offsides on the defense.
Or it's a false start.
Oh.
It's probably that Wilkowski kid again. Long snapper, sophomore extraordinaire. We call him Nilko.
All right.
There's a third Wilkowski little kid. Boy, what grade is he in? 7th grade. Is he playing football for me next year as an 8th grader? Love it. Love it. I'm going to have my third generation Wilkowski.
All right, back to the line. High snap that time. Another flag, though. This time they're going to call it on Norwood. We'll get the 5 yards back and try a third extra point.
There we go. So they're calling like I think they're calling some kind of I think the official term is the enticement, or some way that they're mimicking the snap count, or they're trying to create a false start. And that is, you can't do it by deceptive measures. So penalty on Norwood. This is the longest point after in the history of high school football.
See if we can get a hold on it.
Yeah. Holding, now it's going to be back at the 40-yard line because of archaic rules for holding on special teams in the state of Ohio. I don't know. Seems like the rule that.
There's a low snap, but put up. Oh, and kicked good.
After all that, he would have booted that through again from about 50 yards. Nice kick by Colin Murphy. And 49-13.
Get ready for the announcement by Mr. Ashbrook.
Per the Ohio High School Athletic Association rules, we will now begin with this kickoff with a running clock.
Those are the golden things to hear. Now, the last time we were at the stadium and we heard those words,
it was going in the other direction.
It was going in the other direction, which has not happened often here at CHCA, if ever.
If ever.
If ever. It happened against.
What'd you say against Corey Kiner?
Huh? It happened against. Well, it happened against Madison in the playoffs, but that was at Lakota East. It happened against Coldwater twice, but both of those were in Piqua. And boy, before that, you'd have to go back a long way before there was any kind of a 30-point deficit.
Yeah. All right, so the Eagles teeing it up.
Kevin English and Cole Redmond are.
Man, if I could have one game back, Dean, I want that 2014 Coldwater game back.
Yeah.
I think it was 15, actually. Ugh. Now, I doubt they're going to do an onside kick up 49-13. We've seen Coach Woods take the foot off the throttle before, and I would anticipate we're going to see a steady rotation of a bunch of young guys here.
Clock has started, and here's the kickoff, and there's a
that's not what you want.
Directional kick out of bounds was not what you wanted.
So honestly, that's the first whiff of a kick that I've seen from Caleb Mary this year. So you know what? It's just, if you're going to take those boots inside the 10-yard line and dying inside the 5 every once in a blue moon, I think you're going to be all right with one that scoots out of bounds. So
Yep.
Norwood's going to start with the ball on the 35-yard line.
All right, they wind the clock at 6:06 in the third quarter. And here comes Norwood. Norwood's going to go empty backfield. 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Quarterback's looking, that's tipped. That was
incomplete. Kevin English was the intended receiver. One of the things you like to see, Dean, even though this is a old-fashioned butt whipping, as Marty Brenneman would like to say, it looks like it hasn't gotten chippy. And McKeachin and Kevin English are out there, and they're messing around, being cordial between plays. It hasn't gotten to that point, so that's always a good thing to see.
That was Ben Carter on the deflection on the last one. And this time caught and taken down by Sawkill out just shy of the 40.
Looks like that was number 12, Eli Thomas, freshman wide receiver out there making a play for Norwood.
3rd down and 6. Going to go 2 backs flanking Peters in the shotgun. Eagles jump off sides. So that's going to make it 3rd and 1.
Another thing a defensive coordinator loses sleep over. Missed tackles and encroachment penalties. Pre-snap offsides.
When there's a running clock and you can just sit back.
Oh, that's all right. Laudick's just trying to get a jump on that right tackle, trying to make a play.
All right, so it's 3rd and 1. They're going to run the football. They're going to get through the first down and more to the 50, to the 45. It's off to the races.
Oh, he missed a tackle.
And they tried to strip the football. They're not going to take him down till they get all the way down to the 20 on the 3rd and 1.
McKeachin was more interested in trying to strip that football instead of making a tackle. And, that was a couple of missed tackles there for CHCA on the 3rd and short that turned it into a huge play for Norwood. I think, as a coach, these aren't the freshmen out there yet, coach, that are missing these tackles. These are your dudes missing tackles. So these are the things you're going to put on the film room to make sure you talk about, hey, it doesn't matter what score is, do your job.
All right, 1st and 10. Quarterback's going to keep it himself. He's going to run off tackle, and he's going to just keep working his way down the field. That looks like a rugby scrum. They're not going to blow a whistle. They finally do. He's going to pick up, though, about 7 yards.
Nice run. I mean, you could see right away that they were going to run the football. Their guard fired out downfield, which is always the telltale sign when they're attacking a linebacker. A run is coming. And Eagles didn't make contact till he was about 3-4 yards down the field and moving the pile. So Norwood, again, I keep talking about how their offense looks good. They got 13 points. The Eagles' defense has played spectacular football tonight. A lot of bend but don't break and a couple big plays, but hats off to the Eagles and their defense tonight, 49-13, and keeping the league's leading passer. And we haven't called Kevin English's name since the first quarter.
All right, quarterback drops back, looking. Now he's going to run the football. He's going to get the first down, go out of bounds at about the 10-yard line.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would say. I'm not sure why they have not called Kevin English's name much more. And that's not fair to say. He did catch that touchdown pass for their second score on that wonderful catch over the cornerback for Norwood. But I tell you what, every series I would have a Kevin English two plays every series have to be thrown that kid's way.
Yep.
Too bad he's a senior, because I bet he could use a. I wish he was a sophomore and needed a Christian education.
First down goal to go from the 9-yard line.
So they're going to go in a jumbo formation.
There's the snap. Quarterback's going to hand that ball up straight up the middle, and he runs hard. Takes it inside the 5 down to about the 3.
And then he just ran through tackles of Keegan Mueller and Daniel Flagel, and that is not. Those are your 2-year dudes, man. You got to stop, make a tackle right there. He just dove forward for a big gain of 4 or 5 yards.
It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 4. Going to hand the ball off again. He's going to, that offensive line just moves the Eagles, and they're going to go into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown. So 49-19. See if they go for 2 again.
That was gross. That was a gross defensive series. That's where I start at film session tomorrow. That's where I start. We talk about that, listen, the score, blah, blah, blah. Do your job. That tackling was atrocious that entire series, and now they're going to kick it, or they're going to go. Yeah, they're going to kick it, and they're going to go make it a 29-point game. So we're going to turn off the running clock again, and here we go for an extended fourth quarter. Oh, they are going for 2. How about that?
And they're getting a little razzle-dazzle, but Eagles stop it. A little misdirection, but they ran into each other. And
the attempt was not in.
So still maintains 30 points.
Yep.
I did not like that series, Dean.
Nope.
It just didn't look good.
See if they come back and.
I am all in favor right now of going on like a 14-play, chew the clock, let's go home drive. Knowing the explosiveness of this team, though, they're going to hit 2 big plays and be in the red zone.
Yeah, we've not seen the slow, gradual drive. We've seen a couple small plays and then the big play for a touchdown. But we shall see. Hunt, Brady and Crosley going back deep for this kickoff. Let's see if Norwood pulls out the onside kick.
I mean, what do you have to lose at this point? Running clock, 3rd quarter. I think I just didn't like that series so much, Dean, because Norwood earned their first 2 touchdowns. That one felt cheap because of our tackling.
All right, all teed up. Line drive kick, and that one's going to go out of bounds.
So I think he's trying to put that in a soft spot of their return team for an impromptu onside kick without it being right close to the line. But it looks like he got a little too much of it, because you want that to start rolling and taking weird bounces with the oblong football, just hitting on a weird angle, and maybe you can get down and jump on it. But put a little too much mustard off of his foot, and it squirts out of bounds, and Eagles retain possession and first down.
All right, 37.4 seconds left in the 3rd quarter with a running clock. That's going to be 1 play.
That .4 is very important.
That's right. We got to be exact. Eagles come to the line. Trips left. Manny in the backfield. They're going to look over for a call. All right, they're set. This will be the last play of the quarter. And take that back. Well, it still will be. Player jumps offside. It's going to be 5-yard gain. But with the running clock, it keeps going. So they're going to switch sides here.
That brings us to the end of the third quarter with one great one left to play, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so we end the third quarter here at CHCA. Eagles up 49-19, running clock. One more quarter to go.
One more to go. And, you know, at this point, I think it might be time to start looking forward to the only rivalry in Cincinnati sports where one team's only won once in 20 years, and that's the CHCA Summit rivalry slated to start next week. Kudos to their 2011 win. But it looks like it's going to be another banner day for the Eagles next week, as I know Summit is not having their, you know, they're down a little bit. They're usually a pesky, you know, they're pesky in the standings. They're usually around 7-3, trying to get, you know, get into the playoffs, and they're probably in the playoffs this year since everybody is, but they do not seem to have the firepower that they've had. I think this Norwood team put it on them by a similar score of what we have right now. So I would anticipate CHCA staying healthy and everything without something weird happening has the edge for next week's matchup at Summit.
And unless it changed from what they said earlier, CHCA gets 46 seats. So tune in next week as we bring it to you live. All right, they're going to hand this ball off to Manny. Manny's going to take it left. What a stiff arm, but pulled down.
That defender made a wonderful recovery. He got stiff-armed, and as he was falling down, grabbed him.
Second down and 3 after the play at the 42-yard line.
So in this new format of playoffs, where everyone's eligible, I know we don't know exactly how many teams will be in it, but if you had to guess, how many rounds are we thinking to make it to the finals?
Well, if we go to Joe Eitel, Joeitel, it has got a great breakdown of every team in Division 5, Region 20.
All right, they're going to hand this ball up to Manny, this time straight up the middle. He's going to be about a half yard short of the first down. That's going to be up, bring third down, and we'll call it a short one.
There are 24 teams in Region 20. And so you extrapolate that out, and you got a couple, you know, how many rounds is that? You got round of you know, your champion. So then you have your semis with 2, you got 4, 8, 16. So you're going to have your essentially 5 rounds, including a bye week for the first week, to get out of the region. So you're going to have to win 7 postseason games to get to get to a state title, which essentially puts you at almost 15. You know, what is that? 13 games back to where you would have been.
All right, they're going to hand this ball to Manny. Manny's going to get the first down and more to the 50, into Norwood territory, all the way down to the 42.
Yeah, great run. And the reason that they did that, Dean, is because Ohio uses these Harbin points, and we've talked about these for years. They just were not comfortable and confident in the fact that they didn't know how many postponements, how many cancellations, all of the chaos that would be with trying to develop comparisons using an arbitrary numbering system like the Harbin points with strength of schedule and people trying to find last-minute games. So I think they did the right call and just made everybody eligible for the postseason and let the best teams win it on the field. So kudos to the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
All right, Manny takes the ball again. Manny with a great cut to the 35 to 30, and Manny falls forward down to about the 27-yard line. And Manny's starting to rack up some yards. That ankle's looking good.
I was about to say, boy, I was nervous when he came hobbling off, but the last few runs, and that one especially, he's got some pop, and he's got the 0 to 60 speed in 2 steps. And I mean, that's all coaching. That's all middle school coaching right there.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Eagles taking their time. Takes the snap, gives it to Manny again. Manny again weaves through the middle of the field, picking his way down to the 22-yard line.
Mike Wood. And Isaiah Shield on the tackle. Shields on the tackle.
Well, Dean, it's been a wonderful game. Not really a weakness to be seen in CHCA, short of the last defensive series and their tackling, but we'll chalk that up to the anomaly since the rest of the game, everything has looked so good. Special teams, offense, defense, it's been a great showing.
All right, Eagles look over to the sideline for a new call. 2 receivers each side. Manny to Collins left. Going to give the ball to Manny. He's going to go around the right side. Manny's burst to the end zone. Touchdown! Manny Tate takes it in for a score.
That is a wonderful run. That was a wonderful job by the offensive line getting pulled. I wanted to highlight 63 Max Vonderhaar pulled outside and led the charge and was the leader up the little tunnel, right? When you're making blocks, there's a little tunnel. Vonderhaar was leading the cavalry, and that's where Manny just kind of followed Vonderhaar right up the seam there. Wonderful play by the Eagles.
All right, snap is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. 56-19. Eagles extend their lead.
56 points is pretty fantastic. That's a great job by the boys. It's the season high so far. We had hit 42 twice. Last time we scored 56 points in a game was last year against Norwood. We beat them 62-10.
Got to have goals. One more touchdown, we can break that.
That's right. Much different looking offense last year. It was so driven by Cole Fisher and Cole's arm and Cole's feet. And now it's a much different offense. It's a wide receiver driven offense with Colin Ames distributing the ball, but it's different, but it's just as pure to watch. Like, this has been a wonderful offensive performance tonight for CHCA, and you have Colin Ames distributing it, but we just watched Manny Tate run the ball down the field the entire way by himself for 65 yards. So they have the ability to run the ball too. So a lot of options, a lot of things you can go to, a lot of weapons. This is going to make CHCA, if they get healthy and if they get some of their injuries back, they could be a tough out in the postseason.
I feel like Division 5 this year in the state is going to come down to who can stop Corey Kiner.
No kidding. Dean, I'm not sure there's a lot of folks that can.
Nope. All right. Little squib kick down the field. They're going to shut him down at the 29-yard line. They'll get him out to the 30. Norwood will start from there.
This might be surprising to hear, Dean, but Crosley McKeechin in on the tackle. I don't think we have much of a doubt on the Matt Coleman player of the game tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. That's got to go to Crosley tonight, who's played an inspired performance, memory of a classmate, and he's put on quite a display. Defense, special teams, then out on offense. So they're going to throw a quick little out.
That is Nathan Schramm.
By Nathan Schramm.
That is attacking through the blocker to go get your wide receiver. Nathan Schramm, have yourself a tackle, son. Great job.
Nathan Schramm, number 8 on the tackle. Coverage at the tackle for Cincinnati Hills.
Yeah.
Staying with the empty backfield for Norwood. Quarterback's back. He's going to see a wide open middle. He's going to run the football. And he gets sandwiched at the 30. You had Eric Parker coming from one side. Flagel on the other side.
One thing I'm going to shout out, Eric Parker, he's been taking over the center. He's been doing a lot of the center duties tonight. And there's been a couple, just one or two that I can think of that maybe were a little low, but you're an unglorified position playing center, but you're the quarterback of that line when you're doing that. You're directing who's going where, picking up the blitz. And boy, this offense has been humming tonight. So let's throw some shout out to Eric Parker, man, in the middle of that line.
Yep. All right, there's the snap. And the Eagles are coming. There's that little tunnel screen again, but dropped. So
I love that play.
That's going to bring up a 4th down and 10.
I'm installing that play on Monday. I just decided we're going to bring that for our middle school football game. I really like that tunnel screen.
All right, clock under 5 minutes to go in this one. Punt formation, low snap, end over end punt, and Crosby's going to get out of the way. It's going to take an Eagle bounce. Now it's going to reverse, but they'll take that over just inside the 40-yard line. And so we'll see if we see a few of the underclassmen out there on this drive.
Eagles should be able to run this thing out. Dean, we've said it the last couple series, but it's hard to get a read because we have not played the best competition with Purcell, North College Hill, and Norwood. But it's like you tell these, I tell my middle school kids, it doesn't matter what the other team is. You got to focus on the best self you can be. And the Eagles are performing at a very high level tonight. Regardless of what Norwood's throwing, their defense is hot garbage, but their offense has been pretty good. But how much of it is CHCA just making him look making the offense hum and making Norwood look, having a tough night on defense, and how much of that is, the personnel on the other side? I like to think, you look at all the plays that are being made, it's not like, it's not like there's 15 broken tackles. They're earning what they get by their execution, and that's what's been the most important thing is they're earning it by the design, they're earning it by the play calls, they're earning it by the execution of those play calls. Really fantastic night offensively for CHCA. Crosby McKeechin, again, as we said, has had a whale of a football game. Shout out to Morgan Sakai. We've called his name multiple times. He's had a great football game as well. And you always got to say, the guy pulling the trigger, Colin Ames, he's got a little something to do with it too.
Yeah. No, you're right. Kudos across the board. Again, a play here or there, but overall, these Eagles have just looked good in every facet of the game. Again, the hard part about this weird COVID year and a shortened season and a limited schedule, it really is going to be in the playoffs that we really figure where we're at. Because again, I don't know that Summit will be that great of a test next week. They're going to hand this ball off to Nick Wilkowski. He's running like he's leaving campus. Look at this kid go all the way down to the 36-yard line. But there's a flag.
There is a flag, but I tell you what, sophomore sensation Nick Wilkowski running the football hard, making some good cuts. They're taking that off the hook, and that's the disappointment because he took off, man. That was a good
penalty has been thrown.
Nilko with a big run. Good job there, 3-0. And how about shout out again to the offensive line? We said Eric Parker's man in the center, but it looks like Matt Rabun is out there. We got Rabun, you got Landrum, you got May, and you got Vonderhaar. Those boys have been nails tonight. We have had very few pressures on the quarterback with all the throwing we've been doing. We've been running the ball down the throat of Norwood all night. These guys right here, they've had a whale of a football game, and that's the reason when your offense looks good. It's all looks good. It's all lipstick on a pig unless your offensive line is doing some work, and those big hogs are doing it.
All right, and they're starting to bring in some of those underclassmen. They're going to hand that ball off to Wilkowski again. He's going to pick up the first down.
Nick Rolkowski, number 30, once again gets the call. Miguel Gomez. And Andrew Hurst on the tackle for Norwood.
Peyton Andry, number 88, freshman, walking in, playing wide receiver. So they're taking Jostworth out of this football game. You're going to have 24 freshman Reno Rome coming into the football game.
Also, Ryan Wells is in the ball game.
Two minutes with the running clock.
Colin Ames takes a high snap, hands the ball off. So Wilkowski again is going to take it down to the 43.
Nice tough run. He kept his feet moving. He got hit near the line of scrimmage and bullies forward for about 4-yard gain. Great run by Wilkowski.
Second down and 6 from the 43-yard line.
Blake Burns
coming out into the ball game. He's going to replace Colin Ames.
Great job by Colin tonight.
Again, these guys are going to get a minute and 20 seconds of varsity. These are your freshmen. This is the future right here. Burns takes the ball, hands it to Wilkowski. He weaves his way down to close to the 40. We'll call it the 41.
Landon Taylor, number 54, on the tackle.
Again, this is something we always talk about in Eagle football. Kids get experience on Friday nights early. Sophomores, juniors, those guys are seasoned. And so even getting freshmen a few snaps here is a big deal.
Yes, it is, especially now that I believe their JV schedule is complete. So this is going to be your last play of the football game. You know, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to guess that Burns is going to hand this one off to Wilkowski. Look at that.
Wilkowski takes it down to the 34-yard line, gets a first down, and that'll be the last play of the game. And so the Eagles are going to win this one 56-19. Crosley has a heck of a game. The Matt Coleman player of the game.
Without a doubt.
We will get an interview with him this week that we can play next week in the broadcast as we take the show to Summit.
On the road.
Only a handful of you are going to be there, so.
To the vaunted Summit location where the Eagles have struggled, having only won there, not having lost there since I believe the 90s. So I love beating Summit. So it's Summit week. Let's beat the Silver Knights and head off to the playoffs. Big win for CHCA, 56-19. Dean, it's been a privilege as always. I appreciate and love doing this with you on a perfect night. Great night for the Eagles.
Yes, it was, Chad. It's always fun. And we'll be back next week. Have a great week. Be well. Tune in. And we'll see you from Summit.
Top of the fourth, Cubs 5, White Sox nothing. Bottom of the third, Reds nothing. Twins 1. Top of the fourth, Cardinals 3, Brewers nothing.